welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reading the scary stories that you guys submitted on Sara'a. Keep them coming because I will definitely be doing more than one, maybe two, maybe three. We'll see. I know we're halfway through October and this is the first one I'm doing, but I'm doing it, so here we are. Anyway, I first started reading them. I haven't read a lot of them, but I read some when you guys first started submitting them. I feel like some of the stories are definitely like you had to be there. So there are definitely some that I'm going to have to pick through, but thank you to everyone who submitted. And I'm sorry if I don't read yours, but maybe next time. All right, let's get started. One day I was on the phone. It was 1 a.m. and I heard a scream and a knock and I freaked out. I stood there silent for a minute and then just went back to sleep. Then I heard knocking again that woke me up and it was 3 a.m. I freaked out and I kept hearing the knocking. I could tell it came from the basement. I was extremely scared. My parents were sleeping and I just went down there and didn't tell anyone. So I went down there, there was nothing. I told my mom and dad, they didn't do anything. I didn't get any sleep, and every time I heard a knock, I told my mom, but it would just stop. Isn't 3 a.m. like they say if you wake up at 3 a.m., that's like the devil hour or something like that? That is very creepy. I wouldn't have gone down there. You're very brave for an 11-year-old. One day when I was younger, my family and I decided to take a trip to Alabama to visit relatives for Thanksgiving. On our way there, it was nighttime and we were still driving. All of a sudden, I see a white flash pass us way faster than any cars. Me and my sister saw that white flash. It was so bright, we swear it was some kind of ghost. We still don't know to this day. I'm sure it was. Like, that is really freaky. I've known people who have seen, like, white figures and black figures, and I'm like, not crazy about this stuff. Like, I think it's very interesting, but it's like, do you believe it? Do you not? But apparently, like, white figures are, like, good ghosts, and then black are, like, devilish, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily believe it, but it's very interesting to think about. Ever since this day, I'm 100% sure my elementary school was haunted. It all started when my friends and I were walking upstairs from lunch to go monitor for some teachers. So at this time, no students, especially little kids, would be in the staircase. All of a sudden, we hear my best friend scream. She said she felt a warm breath and someone saying want to play. We all held hands and ran up the stairs. We then heard a ghostly scream as well as a creepy growl. We were very little, so we were all traumatized, and keep in mind, this is not only a spooky thing that happened in my elementary school. That I would have been out of there. I would have been like, transfer me to another school. Okay, this one is freaking me out because I just read it ahead of time. This is freaking me out. So I was out with my friends when I was about 10. My friends were home alone. My sister and I were playing outside with them, and the curtains started blowing a lot, but all the windows in the house were closed. About 10 minutes later, I saw a tall figure walk down the hallway, so I told my friend, and she called her grandpa to come home. When he got home, he found someone hiding in the closet. He called the cops, and when the cops arrived, he wasn't there. If this is seriously real, I don't even know. That's why you check your closet. I used to do that all the time. Okay, so I know you guys like when I share stories, so I will tell you something scary that happened to me, and I do feel like it's one of those stories where like maybe you had to be there, but sometimes when I was younger, my sisters and I would go stay at my grandma's house, and she had like this back room that they made into a bedroom, and that's where my sisters and I would stay, and like all our toys were over there and like all this stuff. And I always had, and still do, even when I'm there, I just have like this eerie, creepy feeling when I'm in that back room. And it's a very old house. And everyone thinks I'm crazy, but like I honestly, I get this weird feeling. So anyway, one night when I was younger, I went to sleep. My sisters were still in the living room. And we used to have like, I don't know if you guys ever had these when you were little, but it's like a little like xylophone that you play. And you could like pull it around. So anyway, that was in the room with me. All of a sudden, it's been a while since I've been asleep, and they hear the xylophone going. So they think I'm awake, and so they come back there, and there's nothing. I was fast asleep, and I don't know, that really just creeped me out because there's no way it could have been any other noise. Nothing was going on. It's not a busy street. I don't know. That just really creeped me out, especially just because like you get this like weird feeling like someone's watching you when you're at the house. Definitely think it was you had to be there, but that has creeped me out forever. And I have one more story, which is even more out there. But I want to start this off by saying I never have nightmares. I never like envision things. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my god, I had the worst nightmare ever. So one night I was at my grandma's house on Long Island, and she also lives in a very old house. And I was sleeping in my mom's room, but she was on the bed and I was on like a little cot kind of thing, and we were there visiting. So anyway, all of a sudden in the middle of the night, I open my eyes and I see this guy standing in the doorway wearing like a tuxedo, but he didn't have a head. And I know this sounds insane, like I was dreaming, but I was there and I was able to say to my mom, like, Mom, wake up. And when I said that, like, I didn't see it anymore, but that still freaks me out. I still envision it. And that's never happened to me. I've never had those things where I just like see something, or I think I see something and I'm awake. It's a nightmare. Like, that never happens to me. And that, I still can picture it. So that too, I feel like there's something going on there. But I could be crazy. Okay, this isn't paranormal, which they don't have to be, so I'm going to add this in here. A few days after my birthday, I was out with my friend and I randomly kept falling asleep. The next day, I tried to get out of bed and I couldn't. My mom said, let's go to the hospital, but I didn't want to because I barely could walk. When we got there, they told me my appendix popped and if I left another day, I would have died. When I was younger, I used to live in this really old house with my parents and we had a cat, a young and healthy cat. But one day, we found him dead in my parents' closet. After the cat's death, me and my dad used to see shadow hands and handprints in the windows. My dad said he just got home from work and the front door was wide open along with cabinets and nobody was home but him. I heard meowing, occasionally hissing, coming from the closet. This story is my stalker experience. My cousin and I walked to my grandma's at like 9, and where I live it gets really dark, so it's pitch black basically. My grandma lived a block down, so we just walked. We went there and talked to her for a good 20 minutes. After that, we walked home. As we were walking home, we saw these two guys, but we just thought it was just regular people. They were both wearing black, what was really strange. As soon as we looked back, they started running towards us. Me and my cousin didn't know what to do, so we just started speed walking. As soon as we looked back, they stopped at a stop sign and started watching us walk home. We got home safe. About 2 years ago, I was sitting in my room listening to music, and this strong breeze blows through randomly. I didn't think anything of it because my window was open. But then, I see a slight shadow from the corner of my eye. Again, I didn't think anything of it. But then, a huge shadow comes near me at a very fast speed, as if it was trying to get me. And as it approached me, a big warm feeling came upon my body. And I screamed as it happened as well. But that wasn't even it. I closed my eyes, trying to get my mind off of it, and as I did, so I felt something lifting my leg. I didn't open my eyes, I just sat there shaking. You can actually look up that we weren't the only ones to experience this by looking up exactly the 14 dead zone, which confirms this is true. When driving in Florida on the I-4 bridge over a channel between Lake Monroe and Lake Mullet, we were traveling with our cousins back home on a rainy night, which made visibility as well as driving tough, so keep that in mind. We were passing a semi-truck in the other lane and people following behind us, so we were in a sense trapped. We sped up a little to get clear of the entrapment and then saw a person in a plaid-like shirt, scraggly hair, very slim and gray-like appearance, standing in the middle of the road. The figure had its arms out, almost like a wave, but it was hard to tell in the headlights in the rain at night at that speed. We couldn't move into the next lane in time because of the semi, and couldn't slow down in time due to the rain and speed, and if we tried, would get hit by a trailing car and get shoved off the bridge. My dad screamed as he plowed through the figure, and he felt the hand of the figure pass through his chest with no other impact. We later came to the conclusion after looking up incidents that something paranormal was trying to cause wrecks because people were buried there and the interstate was built on top of them. That's insane, and also it's in Florida, and like I'm gonna stay away from that area. When it was Halloween, me and my friends were done getting candy, so we went back home. We passed by the park, then we heard someone screaming, then we started running. We got to his house, but we had to go back because he forgot something. We were still out during 12 at night. Then we heard the same man screaming and chasing us. We ran back home, then called the cops. The man had a knife with him, but I'm glad none of us got hurt. So I was staying at this hotel that was built a long time ago. It was a little bit creepy, but I got used to it. The hotel is completely abandoned and destroyed today. The water in the pool was brownish green. There were crickets, grasshoppers, etc. in our hotel room. Okay, let's stop describing the place and get to the story. So I was sitting on my bed, and then I see something wooden in the closet. I was really confused, so I went to take it. And guess what it was? A Ouija board. I tried to contact a spirit, and I succeeded. Her name was Alicia, she was 13 years old, and she died at the exact same spot. Then she wouldn't answer, she left. Trick-or-treating in general. I know everyone loves it, but think about this. Small children taking candy from strangers by going up to their houses. How easy would it be to get kidnapped as a kid while trick-or-treating? Almost happened to me and my friends once. I was about 9, old enough to go by myself, but still a little beaten. This man told us to come inside because the candy was in there. I was a smart 9-year-old, but think about how bad that could have been. I agree, it's a very weird concept, especially nowadays. Anyway, guys, that's it for part 1 of the scary stories that you submitted. Thank you so much again. Some of these actually really freaked me out. I'm actually surprised. So keep on submitting them. Again, I will leave the link down below in the description, and I'll comment it and leave it in a pinned comment. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!